after looking at it, I see it raise its arm up and then down into...
Alien dicks have arms?
They do.
I guess they could just get in there and massage the prostate.
Welcome to The Cauldron, a podcast hosted by Ed Bolden-Grear, the creator of Ravensvale. In each episode, Ed will have free-flowing conversations about life, culture, and personal growth. Expect to hear from storytellers, authors, experts, life gurus, thought leaders, and influencers. The Cauldron is a place where concoctions of a lot of ideas are brewed down to potions that are sometimes important and useful, sometimes eccentric and bizarre, but always just what you need. The Cauldron podcast may contain explicit language and thematic elements not suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
Well, hey there, family. Welcome to the Ravensvale Cauldron podcast, where we gather around the mystical cauldron to stoke the embers of curiosity and ignite the fires of imagination. I'm your host, Ed Bolden-Grear, and joining me is my co-host, the conjurer of curiosity, Jacob Garner, a.k.a. Frady Cat.
Hello, everyone. In today's episode, we're diving headfirst into my fascination with extraterrestrial life and what we're calling Jacob's Alien Update 2025, ET's latest gossip. Get ready for an exhilarating journey through the latest thrilling discoveries and groundbreaking events in the ongoing quest to find extraterrestrial life. Join us as we unravel the mysteries of the cosmos and take a closer look at recent phenomena from around the globe. Together, we will edge closer to answering one of humanity's most profound questions: are we alone in the universe? So buckle in and let's embark on this interstellar adventure.
Hey, Jacob, how you doing, man?
Dude, I'm so excited. I love this episode.
I know you do. I was listening to your intro.
Yeah.
Got a couple questions.
What's up?
First of all, fascination, you should replace that word with obsession.
That's fair.
And second, I didn't realize we were edging today.
We are edging hard for 30 minutes.
Oh, well. What have you been doing, man?
Oh, recently got over the flu, so that was fun.
Years ago.
Yeah, exactly. I'm definitely
way.
not forgetting my flu shot this year. Not at all.
Oh, you're not scared of vaccines?
Oh, no, my DNA's already changed. I've got enough CTE that it can't make me any dumber. What about you, man? What have you been up to?
Oh, well, I'm on hiatus.
From?
Work.
I'm
working from home.
Yeah, I was wondering why it was quieter around the office.
I have some writing assignments that I've been given to complete before I come back. So I got new classes that have to be taught for continuing education. And that slave driver we have.
Oh, yeah, I know. Well, that sucks, but hey, I will tide you over and give you some things to think about while you're working from home.
Okay.
In our episode today.
Okay. Well, before we dive in, let's talk a little bit about our listeners.
Okay, sure, why not?
Guys, here's the thing. We need you all to get engaged with us.
Yes, you do.
Go on over and explore our website. Join us on our next episode when we talk about paranormal encounters.
Which is going to be really, really fun because I think alien encounters and paranormal encounters are one and the same.
You think everything's an alien.
Well, yes, but also to our listeners, if you guys want, if you hop on over to my website at
Jacob-Garner.com.
I recently posted a blog about alien encounters and stuff like that in preparation for today's episode, so that's always fun. I'm also planning on, in the future, linking every time I find anything alien-related to that blog. So that way I'll do the hard work for you guys. And you guys don't even have to search the internet. It'll be, boom, delivered right to the website. And then you guys get to hear my unhinged stream of consciousness talking about aliens.
Keyword unhinged.
It is, but when I'm proven right.
Yes,
Ted,
I know.
When I am proven right.
I get it. You know what? I hate your guts.
I do too, but why do you hate mine?
Well, TikTok wasn't an addiction enough. You got me reading Reddit.
Oh, yeah.
And now I'm so far deep into it that I don't know when I have time to do anything else.
It's the front page of the internet. Is it not amazing in terms of, it's kind of like Twitter, but not as toxic?
I hate Twitter. Blue Sky's the way to go.
Blue Sky. Follow us on Blue Sky.
Follow us on Blue Sky.
Jacob Garner at RVP. Follow me.
But I got into a subreddit that I'm pretty sure you're already in, but it's r/alien encounters.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure you're having orgasm. Is that your masturbation material?
Yeah, dude, that's what I'm edging.
Okay.
Dude, I'm serious though. Like, I get that it's the internet. You can't really believe everything you see on the internet, but dude, some of the stories that you read on that alien encounters subreddit, oh my God.
I know.
Do you know how to filter things, by the way?
I do.
Okay, yeah. So you go to like the top. Here's the secret sauce that a lot of people won't tell you about. All right. If you're ever on Reddit and you're on like paranormal, supernatural, alien type of subreddits, do yourself a favor. Do not sort by top. Sort by controversial.
Yeah.
Because that's when you really get the meat and potatoes out of that.
Well, this one happened to be one of the tops. Okay. Which we know you love. And I just thought, wow, we're talking about that. And so I thought I would bring this in.
Okay.
It's entitled, I Believe My Brother and I Were Abducted. Okay. And it's by Redditor accomplished_sir 3896. Accomplished_sir 3896. It says, I'm convinced that my brother and I were abducted by aliens. We lived in the woods in northern Pennsylvania at the time, and it was late January 2014 or 2015. We had just gotten back from dinner at a coworker's house. My brother had some wine with dinner, but I didn't drink at all. We were packing a pipe. We know what that means.
Yeah.
We were packing a pipe and getting ready to smoke when suddenly everything went blank. That sounds like they already did smoke.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Mind you, this wasn't the first or last time we smoked this, and it certainly was not what we smoked that caused this. The next morning, we woke up in the living room at the same time, both of us on separate couches. He said what I was thinking. I don't remember going to sleep last night. I told him that I didn't either and started getting our dog's breakfast ready. As I did, I began to recall what I thought was a nightmare from the night before. In my dreams, we were in a woods back behind the house, frantically running through the snow back towards the house. I can still remember it like it happened yesterday. We were horrified and running as fast as we could. Once we got to the house, the door was locked, and instead of trying to find the spare key, which we almost always kept in the woodshed, we began to forcibly rip one of our electronic garage doors open. It was one of the remote control systems that only works when you press the button from inside or on a remote. The door began to bend under our hands, and I could hear it breaking as we forced it back against the track. I remember yelling, "Come on!" as my brother yelled and grunted as he exerted himself. As the door reached our wrist midsection, my dream ended. My dog finished his breakfast, and I went to take him outside to go to the bathroom. My brother decided to tag along for a change. As we exited the house, I went to follow my dog into the woods to monitor him, but my brother walked right over to the one out of the 3 garage doors we forced open in my dream. He immediately crouched down and seemingly began inspecting the base of the door for bends and breaks in the aluminum, the way it was in my dream. Hesitantly, I asked him what he was doing, and he turned and looked at me with the most peculiar look on his face. He said, "I had the weirdest dream last night. and then proceeded to tell me exactly what I had dreamed. The only thing is, the door was not bent, and there were no footsteps in the snow leading out of the woods and back up to the house. In the same area 2 years prior, I was waiting for my dad to pick me up from a dishwashing job. I was the last one there that night, and it locked up behind me. I remember standing next to the road waiting when suddenly a ball of light, a bit bigger than the softball, appeared over the road about 25 yards away. It immediately started coming down the road over the ground at about 20 miles per hour. It did not make a sound, and I promise you that I was sober. As it got closer, it looked like an absurdly bright light that was reflecting a perfect ball around it. Once it flew a bit past me, it turned upward towards the sky at a 90-degree angle. Once it did, it launched up into the sky faster than anything I've ever seen. It literally vanished in a millisecond. My dad definitely didn't believe me. I've written college papers about both of these experiences, and I'm not the type who just sees things.
All right, here's what I think.
Okay.
It was aliens. It's crazy to say.
You think it was aliens?
Bro, okay, so here's the thing. I have done extensive alien research, and there is a common theme that usually comes from people who claim to be abducted by aliens, okay? And it's actually part of the reason why I believe that there are different types of aliens that have interacted with humanity. I believe that there is a certain race of aliens that when they do abduct us, they kind of use like an anesthesia or some piece of technology that removes your memory of the abduction. And the main reason why is I believe that these super intelligent alien beings are cognizant enough of the fact
Are you saying super intelligent and sexy?
Yes.
Okay.
That they are aware enough of the fact that their test subject, us, are capable of extreme emotions, and they would also understand what would happen to us in a post-traumatic stress disorder type of situation. So in order to be kind, that they use this anesthesia or this piece of technology to remove most of the aspects of what happened during the abduction. There's a reason why I believe a lot of alien abduction stories of people that have been abducted by this specific race of aliens have fragments, pieces that they remember. Now, I also believe that there are some aliens that abduct us that don't give a shit. And then that's why we get these really fantastical sort of ideas and visions and memories that some people have where they remember the whole shebang-a-bang.
Are you saying that perhaps there's different races of aliens?
1,000%.
1,000. And some of them may be malevolent and some of them are, kinder.
Well, and this is a theory that I have, and there's not a lot that can support this, but this is a theory that I have, okay? When it comes to...
So it's an unsupported hypothesis.
Correct.
Okay.
So as we understand about interstellar space travel, we know that time is affected by gravity, okay? And that if you are traveling in a very far trajectory through interstellar travel, space, or what have you, right, that you can, in a way, be very far into the future, right? As opposed to when you started. So I believe that there might be an interstellar race of aliens that have mastered this sort of travel. So it's not actually different aliens, Ed. It's the same type of aliens, but from different times. And their technology has updated as, we interact with them.
Oh.
Does that make sense?
Yes. So what if I added to that theory?
Okay.
What if it's actually just humans from the future that have morphed, mutated, changed, and they've learned time travel and they're coming back to correct things to make the future better?
Yeah, but what would they want to do with, like, random people in, like, New Mexico and northern Pennsylvania?
I don't know.
No, see, that's why are you familiar with the gentleman named Bob Lazar?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Bob Lazar, whether you love him or hate him, if you're following any amount of alien conspiracy theories and stuff like that, Bob Lazar is a name you're going to run into, okay? And he proposed an idea, well, he claims it as fact, that when he worked for the government, that they had found a propulsion system that didn't actually move you through space. It moved space around you, okay? That's why when you look at these descriptions of an alien drone or a ship or a ball of light, and it changes angles very, very quickly and then moves away very quickly, it's actually just the individual space around it moving. Like, there's a video that kind of described this pretty well that I like. But have you ever seen those sort of games where it's like a maze and you've got a ball bearing and you're actually having to move the board in order to move the ball, right? I think that that's what it's kind of what the alien technology is using, or similar to that game. If you've ever been to an arcade where you have a ring and you have to move it around a metal like rod without touching it, I believe that the propulsion system that these aliens are using right now is very similar to that. They're actually not moving. They're the rod in that example, and then the ring is being moved around them.
Okay. I see what you're saying, but speaking of rod,
Okay.
let's talk about why aliens would want to probe us.
Okay, yes. So,
I mean, your favorite topic is getting probed by an alien.
yes, but I actually have a legitimate reason as to why.
I'm sure you do.
And with your medical background, Ed, this is going to make a lot of sense.
Okay.
Let's just get into the nitty-gritty of it. There's a lot of flora and bacteria that exists in our fecal matter, and it's extremely important for us. In fact, I've even read about them having to do fecal matter transplants.
Yeah, it's a familial fecal
Yeah.
transplant.
And it's proven to have a lot of really good health benefits. But here is why I think aliens are interested in probing us, okay? Do you remember in War of the Worlds, do you remember what killed all the aliens at the end? It was the common cold.
Mm-hmm.
It was a bacteria, essentially, or a virus, right?
The common cold.
So what is in our fecal matter? A bunch of bacteria, right? Complex organisms that exist symbiotically with us, that are so complex that I believe aliens are looking at it in the same way when we harvest blood from like a horseshoe crab.
Yep.
There might be some sort of medical technology that they've devised where they need to farm it from us. And you need to farm it from a live being, they can't just like fly over a sewage treatment plant and take it. They need to get it from a live culture, I think.
Okay.
That's why I think that they probe us. Also, they're just freaks, dude. They're just freaks.
I think that probably the second is more plausible, although the first is not implausible.
I think that aliens in general, there's a reason why they talk about anal probing and not like, what do they call it when they go through your esophagus?
Oral probing?
Oral probing. There you go. Thank you. There's a reason why. I think that it's because they're trying to determine what the complex bacteria is in our colons. That's my theory, at least. If I was an alien, that's what I would be doing myself, right? But, dude.
You have to be an alien?
Yeah, maybe I am.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know that. I could be.
You could be.
But
I think that you don't have to be an alien.
you know what's funny for our listeners? We don't have video set up yet, but
It's coming.
you should look. When I talk about aliens, my eyes get really wide. I'm like leaning forward towards Ed, and I'm just talking about this stuff. What's funny is that like I feel like the amount of conversations I've had with Ed about aliens could be a podcast episode on their own.
It could be a book.
I'm just so excited to talk about it. Dude, can I please,
You can.
can I please talk about the drone situation?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, so I know my listeners that love me talking about aliens.
Hold on. I just want to point this out. You've just started blogging,
Yes.
right? I was looking at your blog.
Yes.
Right? Because I hadn't looked at it in a couple of days.
Okay.
You do realize you have 4 blogs out
Yes.
right now.
Uh-huh.
Okay? There's one that says pending. It's something about Christmas.
Mhm,
Okay?
yeah.
your first one was embracing the art of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Classic.
It's one of your passions.
Uh-huh.
The next one's aliens, a
Yep.
lifelong obsession.
Mm-hmm.
The next one is alien abductions, probing the truth.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Then the Christmas, and then your New Year's Eve or New Year's, Happy New Year's one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you see a little pattern there?
Yeah, I'm giving the people what they want. That's what I'm doing, Ed.
Good for you, Jacob. Good for
I
you.
am probing my loyal followers with alien information, whether they want it or not.
That's not a threat.
Okay, so the drones, right?
Yep.
I know this is going to disappoint a lot of people, but I really don't believe that they're alien.
You mean
in
the
nature.
drones in New Jersey?
Yeah, so for our listeners... when
Not
this-
just regular drones.
No. So when our listeners listen to this, I'm sure everybody alive at this point that lives in the U.S. is familiar with all of the news stories of these drones floating above everywhere, right? Now, here's the deal. These drones are not acting in any way like a lot of the, in my opinion, credible UAP or UFO accounts. All right. They're not moving in a certain super quick change of direction, fast speed. They're kind of hovering. And they also have, in some cases, FAA compliant lighting on them. Let me give you a heads up real quick. UFOs and UAPs do not care what the FAA regulations are, okay? So they would not be like, oh, we're going to travel out of the Andromeda quadrant and galaxy, and then we're going to, oh, by the way, Blazorpa, make sure that you have our FAA compliant lights.
How did you
ready.
come up with that name?
That's not important. So they're not going to like pull over on the side of the asteroid belt and make sure that their lights are working the way that they should. So these drones, this is I know I'm talking about aliens, but do you want to hear my conspiracy theory about what the drones actually are?
Don't I always?
I figured you were, regardless of what you said, I was going to talk about it.
I knew you were.
But, okay, so the United States Department of Energy regularly decommissions nuclear warheads for nuclear reactor fuel. You know this, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You can look this up. This is actual news, okay? The United Kingdom had some old nuclear warheads. I think it was like 10 or 11 that were basically out of date. Okay, they had made them during the Cold War to use against the Soviets. We've obviously developed way better technology. And kind of like a soda, after you leave some of these warheads on the shelf for a while, they kind of go flat and they're not as effective anymore. So instead of just dumping them into the ocean, the United States government made them a bid and bought those nuclear warheads, okay, for us to decommission. The UK sent them over via cargo ship into the port of New Jersey.
Right.
Now, here's where it gets a little crazy. There's a theory that the United States government, in their purchase of these warheads, accidentally lost one of them, either through nefarious means, like maybe a terrorist group or some random group of people or a person purchased one of these warheads or stole it from the shipping containers, right, when they sent it. Okay. So these drones are very, very similar in the way that they act to an actual drone that you can look up on Wikipedia and find. It's called a VBAT MQ-35A, and it kind of looks like an upside down.
Say that again
quickly. I'm putting on my tinfoil hat. Hopefully it doesn't crinkle. The VBAT MQ-35A is what it's called, and it looks like an upside down capital T with a large center at the bottom of it. Now, this drone in particular is used to detect isotope signatures coming from the ground.
Okay.
So the reason why the government is acting like they don't know what the drones are, but they're also going, don't worry, it's not a big deal, is because
they don't want it to...
they want people to panic.
Yeah.
If you,
that makes sense.
If you could make an announcement tomorrow, Ed,
I can make announcements tomorrow.
outside of Camden, New Jersey, there is a missing nuclear warhead.
The United States has a missing nuclear warhead.
How many millions of people in that area would immediately flee? It would cause mass pandemonium and hysteria.
Well, you know what it's not doing?
What?
Not causing millions of people to listen to this podcast.
Well, maybe after your breaking announcement. Who knows?
Breaking announcement.
Like have the news flash at the bottom. So I believe that these drones are literally just flying in a formation trying to detect the isotopes so that way they can find this missing warhead.
You know, that makes perfect. Am I having stroke?
I hope not. Can you smell toast?
No.
Okay.
It is getting warmer in here, though.
Yeah, it is. It's nice.
When we walked in this morning, it was like 60 degrees in the G spot.
See my breath. It was horrific. I'm wearing a hoodie and a jacket right now.
But here we are recording for you guys, braving the disgusting cold weather.
Now, here is where I can tie it back into aliens with the missing warhead theory. It is a known fact that the UAP phenomenon and UFO phenomenon started to increase at levels and sightings that we've never seen shortly after we developed the nuclear bomb. There's a theory that higher intelligence beings are kind of shepherds keeping us from destroying ourselves, and that's why they took an interest in us once we developed these really powerful bombs. So, if there is a missing bomb, I do believe that there actually has been some UAP activity, specifically over Pennsylvania, because these aliens are trying to help us in a way to find this bomb so we don't destroy ourselves. So I think at first the drones were definitely government in origin and still are, but now I believe aliens are getting involved to put their thumbs on the scale to help us out. Does that make sense?
Well, they're going to have their hands full with us in 2025.
Yeah, it's going to get wild.
Weird. So,
sorry, thank you for letting me get that off my chest. I've been wanting to talk about it for a while. But I got another post if you want me to read it from Alien Encounters. So this one is a really, really good one, and try not to laugh. I laughed a lot when I read it. It seems a little suggestive, but we're gonna respect Mr. Think I'm Shadow Band 9 was the user that posted this.
We're going to respect you, but I'm not going to promise I'm not going to make fun of you or laugh because that's kind of my shtick.
That's fair. So his post was titled 3 Weird Sleep Paralysis Experiences.
Okay.
And it reads, when I was younger, I used to regularly get sleep paralysis. And Ed, just real quick, can you explain what sleep paralysis is for people that don't know?
Sleep paralysis is a phenomenon where you temporarily experience the inability to move, speak, do anything much more than breathe, either mostly when you're falling asleep or when you're waking up, and often you're waking up from a dream.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
So back to the post. He says, at least I think it's a he. I wouldn't hallucinate or anything. I just couldn't move. But there were 3 times when it was different. One time it happened, I saw a small green orb of light float through my window and over my body. When it reached me, I fell back asleep. Normally with sleep paralysis, I don't fall back asleep. The next 2 is where it gets even weirder. Don't laugh. The next time I woke up face down on my bed. This
Probed,
dude. I hate to break it to you.
I hate to break it to you.
This never happens. I can't think of a single...
Sounds like it does.
Well, apparently I can't think of a single other time I've woken up in this position. My head feels...
I think the key word there is woken up.
My head feels like it's pounding and ringing, and I can hear these 2 weird high-pitched voices mumbling. You all right over there?
Yeah.
Sorry. Put too much emphasis on it. So he says that his head feels like it was pounding and ringing, and I can hear these 2 weird, high-pitched voices mumbling very quickly. The thing is, I wasn't paralyzed.
Sound effects.
I try and stand up, but my body feels very heavy. Once I'm about halfway up, I feel a push on my back, and I fall back into bed. When I hit the bed, I fall back asleep. Yeah.
Alien wasn't done with you yet, dude.
Yeah, exactly, dude. You interrupted the probing session. The next time it happened, it started like a regular sleep paralysis experience. But when I look to my right, I see a small, shadowy figure with a big head.
Chode.
A big, throbbing...
Chub. Stir.
I'm so sorry, dude.
Why are we doing this to him? I'm so sorry. I'm not going to stop, but I'm so sorry.
But I can't make out any features. After looking at it, I see it raise its arm up and then down into...
Alien dicks have arms?
They do.
I guess they could just get in there and massage the prostate.
This poor dude, if he ever listens to us making fun of him.
We are so sorry. But you have been shadow banned, evidently.
This is where it gets crazy. Apparently, the arms raise up and down into his neck. Like it phases through him.
Ooh.
I feel a sharp pinch in my neck, and then it melts into the ground and disappears. But I can still hear the same high-pitched mumble whisper from before, and it lasts for a few seconds. When I was hit in the neck, I could suddenly move again. I've also seen stars in the sky suddenly disappear after looking at them for a few seconds before. Does anyone have a similar experience to this?
Did anybody have a similar experience?
When I looked into the comment section, some people talked about sleep paralysis and alien abduction being the same thing. I believe, in my experience of reading about sleep paralysis being associated with alien abductions, it's like a tractor beam that kind of locks their body into place as they're being placed back down into wherever they were sleeping. Usually it's like a field or a couch.
One of the things that I forgot is that with sleep paralysis, there is usually hallucinations.
Oh, is there? Is it auditory and visual?
Depends.
I'm wondering, too, how many cases of sleep paralysis have been used to explain paranormal or alien encounters. Because if I was a hyper-intelligent alien being, I would use known, what would you call it, illnesses?
Yeah.
Or disorders?
Disorders or just phenomena.
To try to mask what we were doing. Because if you do it under a veil of something that can be easily explained, it hides your intentions even better. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I believe that this person definitely interacted with some aliens.
I do too.
All right, guys, I'm not going to bore you anymore with like the alien things, but I will leave you on this little nugget of information that I think is really cool. In Kenya, outside of Nairobi, there is a village where a bunch of space junk kind of crashed into the earth. Luckily, nobody was killed or injured, but it is a large 500-kilogram metal ring with some weird indentations cut into it. Now, the Kenyan Space Agency has already said that it was more than likely like a thermal ring that disconnected from a booster, and it was supposed to burn up in the atmosphere, but it didn't. No. If you remember our Ancient Aliens episode that we did in season 2, it looks almost identical to the hieroglyphics that the Sumerians and the Babylonians depicted
You mean the glyphs?
The glyphs, thank you. That they depicted of a large geocentric ring sort of thing behind an alien being that was flying. I'm just throwing it out there. Do your research, look at it, but I think that it could be kind of alien technology. I'll just leave it at that.
Well, as we come to the end of this episode, exploring alien encounters and Jacob's unwavering obsession with extraterrestrials, we still have that profound question lingering. Are we alone in the universe?
No.
This question has captivated human minds since the dawn of time, resonating across every culture and civilization. Do you believe in the existence of extraterrestrial life? Family, we want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on the mysteries that lie beyond our planet? Share your insights, theories, and personal encounters with us on our Facebook page. If you haven't already, join our growing community by searching for Ravensvale on Facebook. Don't forget to like, follow, and comment. Your engagement fuels our curiosity and keeps our discussions lively and informative. Stay tuned for more thrilling explorations and thought-provoking discussions in our next episode. Until then, keep looking at the stars and pondering the infinite possibilities that await us in the cosmos. Now, family, you adults have a few chores to do. Go on over to ravensvale.com and see about doing your chores on social media. Follow us on all the social media platforms we made available just for you folks. Like, listen, subscribe, and follow wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you don't mind, please leave us a good rating and a kind comment. You can find the Ravensvale Cauldron podcast on your favorite podcast platform. Just search for Ravensvale Cauldron Podcast and hit the follow button so you can stay up to date with the latest episodes. So until next time, family.
See you soon.
The Ravensvale Cauldron is a production of Small Raven Media. Today's episode was hosted by Ed Bolden-Grear with co-host Jacob A. Garner. Audio engineering and sound design by Nick Devan at Nicky D Sound. Copyrighted 2025, Small Raven Media. All rights reserved.